I found a whelk on the beach and like a whelk shell, and it had loads and loads of patterns on it. I found a slag, which is a rock with holes. I found driftwood, and I think that was really good because you could see all the detail, what had been done to it. When we went on to the field trip, we had to draw a map about like what was there and where it was, so that was fun. I would go back, definitely.
The site visits are probably the most exciting and the most illuminating, both for me and for the children. Combination of actually doing something very practical where they're learning a whole host of new skills, and the best learning happens when the children are not aware that they're learning or they're being told that they're learning. So they're finding out why a plant has a certain texture or a certain colour through drawing, through looking and collecting. And I wanted to give them the opportunity to really get their hands dirty, and along with the field centre staff, it was that exploration, it was that, you know, finding out what materials are and how artists create artworks from certain materials or certain ideas. And to see them outside and getting a ruddy face and getting their hands dirty is really exciting. You know, using an art form as a way of exploring that site was a surprise for a lot of children, that they could make something, and it was very genuinely an experiential thing.
We got kitted out and then we went for a walk to the North Gare sand dunes, and then we started to look for shells and started sketching.
We look at the ecology, the habitats, the animals and plants in those habitats. And with the Green TV, we were doing essentially the same thing, but through an artistic angle, as it were, which made us think a little bit different. And we had some ideas of what we were going to do, and we were still looking at all the animals and the plants, but in totally different ways.
That's right, that's right. I've used the idea of a book in my own work for several years and felt that this was an appropriate means to communicate or to present the children's ideas. And because I think that drawing is one of the best ways for children to observe, because they're documenting, they're looking, they're experimenting, they're exploring, all through drawing, it seemed appropriate to put the two together. And I wanted to show the children that the format of a book was more than something that opened and you turned the page. It could fold out like a map. It could be put together like a jigsaw, giving them the skills and the insight into the question of what is a book, and then also what is my book, fitted in really well with these sort of navigations and discoveries and explorations, because we needed somewhere to log our ideas and our finds, and that just seemed like a really good way to do it.
This is the Green TV Project Trophy for winning the competition.
Students at Gillbrook College in Eston in Middlesbrough, their geography teacher had asked me to draft a project involving mapping. The maps were remaining quite flat, and wouldn't it be good to introduce a three-dimensional element to it? And we talked about different approaches to drawing and what three-dimensional drawing might be. And so I got some very, very fine craft wire, which enabled the children to draw the symbols with wire and then attach them to the map in the location where the samples were found. I think that was a really nice response, and it gave each student the opportunity to develop their own style or their own way of working within what was being asked of them.
And certainly with the Gillbrook pupils, we took the binoculars down so they could actually get a good view of them and convince themselves that they were seals. And they can be quite amusing, the seals, and laid on the side there, and being rather anthropomorphic, you can see them scratching themselves, and I think the children found that quite amusing when they were just laid scratching or yawning and really being almost human-like. And really the outcome has been brilliant, and we've gained a lot from it. Hopefully the children have. I think they have when you look at the work on the walls. And it's certainly improved our skills and knowledge, which we can actually use with other schools and pass ideas down, use those ideas that we've gained on Green TV, and hopefully influence lots and lots of other children who visit here.